Okay, it is Thursday, February 15th. We're at the Council on Aging on Bedford Street. That's wrong. It's not Bedford Street. I gotta correct that. This is the open space meeting. LakeCAM is recording. Is anyone else recording at this time? Okay, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. So Liz had found a nice link, and it's called the Mass Open Space Network. Did everybody get the link? Did anybody look at the link? Yes, David
I did. Well, David did.
Oh, you printed it out?
I did.
Oh, nice.
I can't read it if I have to read it online. I have to be able to look at it.
It was like 30 pages long, so I wasn't going to print it, was my problem.
So Liz.
So it's a reimbursement grant first.
Okay. Oh, a reimbursement grant.
Yeah, so I'll just speak to the things
Yeah.
that jumped out at me.
Okay.
I mean, it seems very doable for us. It is a reimbursement grant, so
Okay.
yes, we would have to, that I kind of stopped me. I'm like, how do we get the money in the first place to get
Yeah.
reimbursed? So I'm hoping that the town would offer some money if they thought the goal and the way we're going to do it was worth supporting. It seems to be very much about education, educating the town people about land trusts or about conserving your wooded, specifically it appears to be wooded lots, and I believe it's 40 acres and more.
40 acres.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
don't think it's a lot of people in
Yes,
town, but it's
yes.
definitely some people in town. And I know I was looking at some of the ways other towns had spent the money, and they some people very simply, they did walks on open space properties and talked about what the woods does for native species or what it does for the people who live in the town and recreational. They had a lot of different, so if everybody has time to take a look at it, I mean, I think it would be a more useful conversation if everybody had taken a chance to look at it, and then we could brainstorm about what we could possibly do.
Right.
And then we could approach the town and see if they wanted to, I mean, these are small grants, they're not gigantic grants, but
But even with, say,
Thank you.
in the past when the Crystallini property came up, was that 30 acres?
yeah,
Was that 40 acres?
Really? I
Was that
don't know.
40 acres?
I don't know.
I can't remember, but if the
About
town
30
had
about
put up
30
some money,
acres, yeah.
if the town had put up some money, then,
Right.
you know, like you said, if we get reimbursed for it, then the
Right.
town gets money back for a piece of
Wait,
property.
and then the grant would reimburse
Yeah.
whatever educational thing we had done.
Right.
All the way from, I don't know, Joan, you printed a lot of it. Did you print any of the stuff that was like examples from other towns?
I didn't, but they were a pretty diverse.
It was very
It
diverse.
was very diverse.
It was-
Different towns had different
Totally
things, and they were pretty well funded too.
Yeah, yep,
They don't
Yeah.
have a lot of money, but they really share it around.
yep, yes, spread it
Do
around.
you know if they do this every year?
I don't, because that
I
came
mean, that would
across
be interesting.
the-
I mean, this has to be done by projects have to be done by April of 2024.
So I got caught up on that. Which part of it has to be done? The
It's,
whole
it
thing has to be
says,
done? So
all
maybe for
activities
next
must be
year.
completed no later than April 15th, 2024.
Yeah.
And the
So maybe for
reimbursement
next year.
request must be submitted no later than April 30th. And the final report must be submitted by May 15th. So if they did it in every year,
Because
they probably get in on it, going on it
it's
for
not like I put it off. They
2025.
didn't send it out in a very timely fashion. then.
yeah.
So it must have been like for people who already know it's happening type of thing.
So
or
by
something.
April, so like if we get our act together and maybe we can
Yeah, for next
do
year
something,
at
so
least.
we're, like you said, we can now brainstorm, we'll read it,
Yeah.
and then see what
Right.
we can come up
And
with
what we
this.
think is valuable for
Yep.
Lakeville, at least.
Yeah, I'd like to look into it more.
Let's say the proposals ranging from $300 to $2,500 are encouraged with a $5,000 maximum.
Okay, oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, it's all in the,
Okay,
This is awesome. Thank you for that.
5,000 max. That's always good, okay.
and when the money runs out, depending on the proposals that come in, they only have so much money. and
Yeah.
First come, first serve.
Yeah,
As they
first come,
go
first
forward,
serve, yeah.
you know.
That's why I was wondering if they do it, we need to check and see if they do it every year.
Yeah, I think.
Then we could jump in next year much earlier.
Yeah.
The plan will be
This
done
was from 22,
way
so
before
this is
the
like
next,
a
the next
two-year
period for
program.
this.
I think this, I'm not sure, but I think it said it started in 2022, and this is like a 2-year grant
Okay.
program. They may renew it, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they didn't get a lot of applications, or maybe they just threw it back out there to see if people could move that quick. Because I literally sent it to you all,
I know.
and that was like a week ago or something.
Yeah.
When I got it in my email, so I have no idea.
Right,
Possible to check with them, see they have funds left, and.
yeah.
If we could move that quick, we'd have to do
Yeah,
something. We'd have
Be
to,
quick.
it'd have to be today, we'd have to like decide we're making a pamphlet about open space or something, and then. I'm not
This
sure
is
we can
good,
move
so
that quick,
we'll
but-
start working on this and see what we can come up with.
Do we know anybody that might fit into that category that we could contact? Anybody here? Think of anyone?
Well, I don't have the chunks of space in the memorized in Lakeville. I don't know about you. I mean, you know what I mean?
I
40
could pull out
acres
maps for
and
next
wooded-
time.
Yeah,
You know, we could
Wooded
pull out
lots
the
of-
priority parcels and
Right.
things like that.
right.
Okay,
That would
now
be
is it
better.
$5,000 for,
That's the maximum grant.
okay, so you can't buy 40 acres in Lakeville?
No, it's not about
No.
buying land. This is about educating the public. Or
Townspeople,
educating landowners. That's what this grant is for, education purposes. It's
Right.
not
All
for
right,
buying
okay,
land.
okay.
Yeah.
That's
or
much
anything-
easier.
Right, and there's no match required either, because
Right,
sometimes
no
they'll give
match
you money
required.
if you can come up with somebody else who's gonna give you the equal. This is literally about, like if we held an evening at the library on April 15th for people in town, landowners or none, who are interested in the different ways they could conserve their land, CR restrictions and this kind of thing, or how they would do that. And Joan would talk about how she's doing it with her property, and then we'd get somebody else who's an expert in it.
Who's
and they
doing,
would talk
who's
about
doing
And
it
I
with
think
maybe
it's a
another
really-
organization, right?
And we talked about this, but this is actually money toward it, so we could pay for making copies, and we could pay for, if somebody needed some kind of stipend for talking to the people,
Right.
we could give them their $150 stipend type
Yeah.
of thing. That's,
Okay,
you know,
Oh, that's always good. Like you said, if you can get a formal information, like you said, for landowners, to educate them, which we've been talking about.
I mean,
Yeah.
people need to know, and that's one of the things in the open space plan, and the goals and objectives, educating landowners, just to know how they can preserve their land.
Right.
I don't know why I thought we could move that fast, but it seemed at the time when I got the email, it was like, we can do this. We've got 2 months, we can do this. But I'm not sure we can do this, but.
Okay, so a new project that we'll have is about getting something together and we'll start educating landowners, right?
Yeah, well, guys, yeah.
Well, when I read through it, there were some other things you can do with setting up networks with other town open space committees. You could they gave an example of hosting a breakfast for other, have the open space.
And the money can be
committees
used
come
for
together.
that to get the breakfast
Yeah,
and
you
get
did
the
the
open
grant, but of course,
space.
if they approve the grant, of course, then you gotta get the money from the town and they get reimbursed for
Okay.
the
Right.
grant.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
that was just an example they gave in here.
No, that's always good to
So
network
we're-
with other towns like that.
It's literally called the Neighborhood Outreach Project, but I'm not sure why.
all right, I went to a program last week at the West Yarmouth Library, and it was a lady and a man, and they were speaking about what they had done for open space in Yarmouth. And people from all around the Cape were invited to it. It was very good. I mean, maybe those people might come and talk, just a thought.
Did you get any information, pamphlets, leaflets, booklets?
Well, I mean, the West Yarmouth Library, whoever runs it, would probably know all the people.
Probably.
Okay. That sounds good.
And they've done a lot.
Yeah. The Cape's very good at that stuff. They've they have land trusts,
Right.
and things like that.
Yep.
So, okay. So maybe that's a project we can start working on for future, for next year, right?
Mhm.
Have
At
all this
least,
in
right.
place, right? So, does anyone want to get more information about this? you know,
I will.
gather more information, and Liz, you want to be in charge of all that?
Yeah, I think first thing, if they have funds left now, and are they renewing for next year, would be good, because we are just starting on this 2 months to go.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
Right, okay. That's really good. So maybe I'll put this back on for the next meeting, or if as long as you have more information or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna move to review status of open space plan.
So the main body of the open space plan is done. Amy sent her copy of the Word document to Tracy. I have a hard copy that I've put more additional corrections and additions to. She's gonna put it all together for us. The only thing we have left really to do is goals and objectives, which is that grid at the back. So I'm gonna put the grid together, email it to everybody, and you can tell me if you have any corrections or additions. And when I get it back, I'm gonna give it to Liz, who's gonna make a grid for us. And that'll be the end, hopefully,
That will be the end.
hopefully.
So are you looking for everybody's input via
yeah,
email?
Yeah, so I'm
Before
gonna,
our
so we have
next-
like the list of goals and objectives where you put together, we have 2 or 3 different sets that we had put together
Okay.
about a year ago, so I'm gonna try to
Okay.
combine them. So if
Okay.
anybody has anything they want to put in the goals and objectives, email
Right.
them to me.
Right.
And then I can put them in the grid before I send it to everybody.
Okay.
Okay. Very good. Moving along with that, that's really good. I don't have anything from Assawamsett, Conservation. I think it's been pretty quiet. Anything from Historical, Brian?
Well, we did discuss things at the last meeting. What we've got coming up is, in May, we're going to have a meeting. There's a subcommittee of the Historical Commission, which is called the 175th Committee. And it will be talking about, at the May meeting, the discussed tour of Thompson Hill Cemetery. And there's other members that are on the 175th Committee. So we'll get more input and try and get things more organized and move forward with it all.
Okay, that's great. Anything else going on with the 175th? Do you have big plans?
Say it
Do you have
again.
big plans for the 175th committee? Like?
Walking
uh,
tours
I'm
of
sorry,
different
I'm old
sections
and
of-
deaf.
That's okay.
Walking tours.
You have walking tours planned?
Highland
Well, yeah,
Road
they'll be discussed at this meeting too,
Right.
probably.
walking
Yes,
tours of
I
different
mean,
neighborhoods that have more old houses.
There's a list of things that will be brought up, I'm certain, on the agenda, but, just to mention, that's where we're making a start for this season.
All right.
Do you need to formally tell other people about our newly open seat on the Open Space Committee? Because I heard that is.
Not on the agenda.
It's not on the agenda. I did not.
But it says right here, please be aware that this agenda.
Okay, so please be aware. Yes, and if anybody would like to join the Open Space Committee, we have an opening.
See?
Send in a letter to the select board, and you can get on the committee, and we have a good time.
One time was had my own.
The CPC committee, so they're gonna want to get together, because part of the CPC plan is what exactly do we want, because obviously we have a pot and we share it with recreation. So there's gonna be an email coming out, or we can draft something on how we want our money to be spent, which is, should we be saving it, maybe for bigger purchases? So that's something that we can kind of discuss again. What would be our objective for the CPC funds?
For the open space portion
For the
kind
open
of thing.
space portion, yeah. What would you see with that? So that's just gonna be coming up. I said I would just mention it tonight. So that's what I've got.
You want to talk about this?
Oh yeah, Devaney.
Well, I think I had mentioned last month that I was going through the file in the town clerk's office because I keep the minutes I track the minutes from all the committees, so, and I always go through the files each month. And I came across, when I looked in open space, and I found this.
This is
and I
the
said,
original.
what is this? So then I asked permission,
The original?
yeah, and I asked permission if I could make a photocopy of it, and I read through it. And it's kind of interesting.
1981, you said?
I believe it was.
It says 1981.
Yeah. A lot of familiar names and
The only one left standing is Brian.
Yeah, I knew I was on the committee, and I called my name, yes. I knew I was
Wow,
on it.
that's some long time.
Joe
My
Chamberlain,
goodness.
right down here.
Joe Chamberlain.
I was on another committee in the 70s, a master plan.
The master plan for the
Yeah,
town.
in the
Oh, okay,
1970s.
really?
You have to look for that one, too.
All of those files are still in the town clerk's office, and it's interesting.
This would be
You
great
see
to
some of the old names.
This is pretty fascinating, actually.
I think they
When you
did a
look at what
really
we
good
have
job.
now, it's pretty
You know, look at it,
fascinating.
It's like so nice and simple. I feel like
I
it's
know.
not simple anymore. This is nice and simple. Like, this is what we want.
And we have some maps.
We have some maps.
Maps, yeah. Yeah, open, public, and quasi-public areas.
This is pretty interesting.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought this up. This should be like displayed. Is it an actual book or?
It's just like this.
It is?
Yeah,
That's it?
it's not in a binding or anything,
What we
it's just
had
like this.
from Macris in 1981.
Kind of a
11
yellow cards, you know,
12
it's yellowed
houses.
over the years,
yeah,
but,
wow.
yeah, so I thought it was.
Well, I don't know if that's actually accurate or not.
It says, list of sites and buildings submitted to the Massachusetts Historical Commission as of September 1st, 1981.
There might have been a few more, but certainly we did add a lot in the 80s, yeah.
We did.
Well, so
active
this is
farms.
kind of odd because it goes, oh, they're projections. Ooh, interesting. They projected the population up to the year 2000. In 2000, they figured there'd be 8,000 people, which is just about, that was
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is so simple compared to what they want now. It's amazing.
Oh, imagine if we just did this, it would've been done.
I know, we've been done
And
in
it
a
also would have been
month.
easier to
It
read
would've
and
been done.
understand.
It's like, I like it. It's very just,
Be fun to read the goals and objectives in 1981
Right
and
here,
see
look
what
at
they
it.
are now. That's what I'm looking at.
page 31, our goals and objectives.
And Serpent's even mentioned in this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, Serpent's been around for a while. huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Does the latest one have artwork like this with the fish and
No,
all
I don't
that?
think it does. I like that little fish.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you for bringing this. This is really
Amen.
interesting.
You're welcome.
Well, we may find some ideas in
I
here too
know.
that actually,
We might,
yeah,
let's see if the goals and objectives, how the goals and objectives have changed, and hopefully they're not the same.
they might very well be, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So the next meeting, let's see, will be, is March 21st okay for everybody? It's like the third weekend in March, third Thursday.
Good for me.
It's good for you, right?
We have historical commission the third Thursday
Yes,
of the
Fourth,
that's when
month.
they meet.
The-
Oh,
The fourth Thursday?
fourth Thursday is Historical Commission now.
Fourth Thursday.
Yeah.
oh.
So we're all set.
Historical Society is the fourth
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Okay, so
So
this is
by
working out.
24th.
So So March 21st.
What was the date?
March 21st.
21st.
The first day of spring, maybe?
Oh,
Do you know Easter's March 31st this year? Easter's in March. It's the last day of March this year. Sunday, March 31st. That's weird.
Early.
Very early. Okay. Would anybody like to motion?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Anybody Second? All in favor?
I
Aye.